Greetings and salutations, everybody. Lord X here with a kind of video that a ton of other people will be putting out soon, or already have. Yes, it's time to go through my personal top 10 games of 2013. For those of you who watched my top 50 PS3 games list, well, you're going to see some repeats here. However, this list may include games from other platforms as well. Hint, it's going to include games from other platforms as well. That being said, I'm just one man, and I've not been able to play everything this year. This includes games I haven't even bought yet, such as Tearaway, Rayman Legends, Batman Arkham Origins, XCOM Enemy Within, or any Xbone or Wii U title. Then, of course, there are games that I have bought, but just haven't had the time to play. These include such games as Disgaea D2, Metro Last Light, Shin Megami Tensei 4, Shadow Warrior, and several others. Plus, I won't be including The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead Season 2, for the one reason that only the first episodes have been released so far, so those two games will be counted in my games of next year, probably. Or will be in the running for it. Anyways, I know you're all eagerly awaiting the list, but first, we're going to do some honorable mentions. I kid. I'll get to the honorable mentions after the top 10, since I know most people just want to get to the meat and potatoes of this list, the top 10 itself. So without further rambling, let's get started. Oh, and apologies for no video footage this year. Not having a working capture card kinda limits what I can show. At the end of the day, I had 6 games I really wanted to put at this spot or at number 9. However, I had to give the nod to the indie hit known as Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. At first, the game didn't really hook me. The characters spoke like The Sims, the controls, while unique, were hard to adjust to, and the setting didn't seem like anything special. However, the more I played, the more I got hooked. The controls started to feel just right. It is a co-op game made for the single player. The characters' actions told their story, and the environment told the story of the world. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, the places you see in this game are worth 1 billion. By far, one of the best indie game experiences I have ever had. Plus, again, it's a game that brought a few tears to my eyes, and those always tend to be favorites of mine. Tetris, Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Geometry Wars, Plants vs. Zombies, Angry Birds. These games are known as gaming crack. Games that can hook you in for hours on end. Games that you play and play to try and get a new high score. The PS4 may not have had many first-party exclusives at launch, but it damn sure got some sweet gaming crack with Resogun. And I love me some Resogun gaming crack. Since I bought my PS4, I found myself trying to get in a few hours of Resogun every day. It's a game that I want to get good at and continue to improve my high score. Now, as for the game itself, it's kind of a side-scrolling shooter on a cylinder-type playing field. Think Darius Twin or stuff like that from the old school days. You shoot enemies from left to right, and save humans, all in an attempt to build a multiplayer and collect as many points as possible. From the creators of Super Stardust and Dead Nation, the visual style of Resogun is kind of retro, but just beautifully stunning in HD. And then there's the music. Oh god, it's so damn good. And it gets you so pumped up when playing. Just save the last humans. Sony has always been known for taking a risk to bring forth something very unique. Just like Little Big Planet before it, Puppeteer brings forth something truly different, but very, very charming. First off, the story. You play as a child by the name of Kutaro, who has his soul stolen, his body transformed into that of a puppet, and worse still, his head taken from him. He must collect the moonstones and defeat the evil Moon Bear King to restore himself, the souls of Earth, and bring peace back to the moon. That's the basics of the story anyway. What makes this game truly unique is how the story is told, for you see, it's all a theater play. All the characters in the game are just actors putting on a show for the audience watching. This method of storytelling is something we've never really seen in a game before, and it works great. Stand still for too long without doing anything, and the audience will start to get annoyed and restless. Pause the game? Nope! Just going to intermission. As for the gameplay itself, it's a pure side-scrolling platformer, similar to that of Little Big Planet or Old School Mario. With a ton of different hits to collect and secrets to find, the game offers quite a bit of replayability. It's a shame that Sony didn't promote this game more, because it is quite awesome and something every PlayStation 3 owner should play. Like him, hate him, or love him. In my opinion, David Cage can make some damn good games. As noted on my top 50 PS3 games list, I loved Heavy Rain, and this year, David and the team at Quantic Dream gave us Beyond Two Souls. In many ways, it's hard to describe what exactly Beyond Two Souls is. At its core, it's a story about a girl named Jodie who has been cursed, or gifted, with another being attached to her. The game tells Jodie's life story, but not in chronological order, which has thrown a lot of people off and made a lot of people dislike the game. Me personally, I love this. It jumps between her being a little girl, a rebel teenager, and an adult. It shows her working with the CIA at times, and at other times, running away from them. It's a unique story filled with the supernatural. A story that will make you think and will make you fall in love with the character. It did for me at least. Just like games such as The Walking Dead, Beyond left me with a wow factor after I finished it. It was an experience like I had never had before. But it won't be for everybody, and that I can understand. The last things I will mention are this. Ellen Page and Willem Dafoe are just brilliant in the game. In fact, the entire cast are amazing at what they do here. Some of the best acting I've ever seen in a game, to be honest with you. And I'm sure there's a lot out there that will disagree with my opinion, but hey, it's my opinion and I'm gonna have it. Then there are the graphics. Beyond Two Souls just shows how powerful the PS3 can be in terms of visuals. It's hard pressed to find a better looking game on the PS3. I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. Pokemon X is my number 6 pick. It's been a long time since I fell in love with a Pokemon game, but the newest entry into the series has easily become one of my favorite Pokemon games ever made. The first game in the series to leave behind the 2D sprite graphics of old for full 3D visuals. Pokemon X and Y is a true evolution for the series. But it's not just a big step forward, it's also a giant love letter to all of us who grew up with the series. All of our favorite Pokemon are here. Hell, we even get the chance to select one of the 3 original starting Pokemon within the first hour of the game. Spoilers! The gameplay is still about the same, but with the addition of Mega Evolution, which is kind of a Digimon sort of thing to be honest. But Mega Evolution fits in nicely and doesn't feel like something forced at all. Sure, the story doesn't break down any walls, and won't bring any tears to your eyes, but it does bring forth more history into the world of Pokemon. Team Flare still isn't a replacement for Team Rocket, but outside of their odd name choice, they are a pretty good opposing force to deal with, though kind of easy to battle, to be quite honest with you. Add in the new experience share, new Pokemon such as the awesome Hawklucha and Greninja. That was Hawklucha and Greninja, if you didn't understand me there. And a new region to explore. Pokemon X sets a new standard for the Pokemon games. Now go forth and catch 'em all! If there was ever a game based off of Murphy's Law, it's Tomb Raider. I've always been a fan of the series, so when talks of a reboot went around, I was excited, and my expectations were high. And boy, were those expectations fully quenched. Now, I mentioned Murphy's Law, but that's not a bad thing. What I meant by that is very simple. A lot of shit happens to our favorite female adventurer, Laura. She gets shipwrecked. She gets taken hostage. She gets stabbed. She gets shot. She tries to send out a rescue message, only to get said plane nearly crashing on her. This is the origin story for Laura and shows us how she becomes as strong as we know her, because of all this crap that happens to her. Now, I found the story great, and in turn, I found myself loving Laura more so than I ever had before. The game itself is beautiful. The island is just as stunning as it is dangerous. It is really like an Uncharted game, minus the humor. The gameplay feels good as each weapon has a different type of feel to it. The bow is something that is so fantastic to use. Some people will and have complained about the violence, saying how as it didn't make sense for Laura to go as violent as she does. For me, I found that it made sense. Even when Laura is killing a whole bunch of dude, which, mind you, are out to kill her, and at times are looking for something else for her, if you know what I mean, wink wink, nudge nudge, she makes sounds and speaks in a way that shows that she isn't having a blast killing people. This is not fun for her. She is doing this out of pure survival instinct. Now, near the end, she is pissed off. And if you were in her shoes, you would be too. Plus, I mean, nobody ever complains about Nathan Drake killing hundreds or even thousands of people. Plus, there was a multiplayer mode. It's a thing. Not a good thing, but it's a thing. Can make you cry within the first 60 minutes? Check. Has a beautiful anime-style cutscenes? Check. Has a charming character that travels along with the main character? Check. Has turn-based battles? Check. Yep, Ni no Kunai, Wrath of the White Witch checks off some of the things that I look for in a great JRPG. I will admit this right off the bat. I am a JRPG addict. It is by far my favorite genre in gaming. Now, if I were to describe Ni no Kunai in one word, it would be beautiful. Thanks to the people at Studio Ghibli and Level 5, the game just looks stunning. It's very colorful and filled with a ton of very small touches that add life to everything. The characters in the game are filled with wonder and are quite charming, especially Mr. Drippy, who is your sidekick of sorts throughout the game. The story is great, and even if it isn't something that we haven't seen before, it's still good, you know? The battle system is part Final Fantasy and part Pokemon, turn-based with the aspect of capturing monsters to use in your party. The game will make you laugh, it'll make you cry, and always put a smile on your face. And the music is just phenomenal in this game. It's beautiful. It is some of the best music in a JRPG I have ever heard before. If you own a PS3, you need to play this game. In fact, if you own a PS3, stop watching this list and go buy Ni no Kunai right now. Come on, go buy it. I'll wait. Come on. Go do it now. Now, right now. Have you bought it yet? Good. Now, finish watching this video and then go play it. I will admit fully that I didn't really enjoy Grand Theft Auto 4. It was too dark and moody, the driving felt off, there wasn't a great deal to do, I disliked the radio stations, and god damn it, Ronan, stop calling me to go see American Titties. However, this year Rockstar has redeemed themselves in the GTA universe and proved that they can still give us one hell of a fun experience. First off, the game world is massive in scale and looks fantastic. It's so colorful, and there are a variety of locations to go to. The city of Los Santos, sandy shores, the desert, the top of mountains, small little side towns. There's a lot to see, and it all looks great and very well detailed. Now, the characters in the game, oh my god, they are awesome. The three main characters that you play as are all different and have their own personalities. The cast of side characters as well as are amazing. Lamar very well may be one of my favorite GTA characters ever. Gameplay wise, the shooting has been improved greatly. However, it's still no Red Dead Redemption. The driving feels incredibly good, especially with Franklin's driving ability to slow down time. There's a ton of stuff in the world to do outside of the story, such as playing 9 holes of golf, pool, tennis, robbing stores, races on both land and sea, triathlons, finding a mass variety of collectibles, and a ton of Easter eggs and secrets to discover. Now as far as the story itself goes, it was a pure joy to play, filled with some drama and a whole lot of crazy humor. I laughed so goddamn much when playing. Plus, I couldn't stop playing it. I was hooked on day one and just had a blast going through the entire experience. To end it off, I will say this. Trevor, one of the three main characters, is by far one of the best written characters ever. Yes, he is crazy. Yes, he is over the top. But at his core, he will be one of the most relatable characters you will ever see in a video game. Trevor, for Character of the Year. Nostalgia. It can be a powerful weapon. And despite all the weapons in the game, A Link Between Worlds' strongest weapon is nostalgia. Being a sequel to A Link to the Past is a very big thing to live up to, but A Link Between Worlds does it in strides. The game looks beautiful, all while keeping the same visual style of its predecessor. The combat is very simple, but that's a very good thing. Why? Because with combat being very basic, the developers were able to focus on the story and exploration of the game. But I'll get to that in a second. One last note about the gameplay first. The new item renting system and ability bar seemed like a very odd choice when I first heard about it. However, it works! The fact that you die at any point, you lose all the items you've rented. This gives much value to trying to stay alive. As far as the ability bar goes, it does make things simple by giving you unlimited arrows and bombs, but the bar limits you from shooting 1,000 arrows in a row. Now, as far as the story and exploration goes, oh my god! This is by far the most freedom in a Zelda game since the very original. You can do the dungeons in any order that you wish, and you gain a ton of awards for just exploring whenever you desire. The story calls back much on A Link to the Past, and it's done so beautifully. This is by far one of the best 3DS games of this year, and the best Zelda game since A Link to the Past. At least in my opinion. Is there any surprise that this is my game of the year? Do I really need to express why I love The Last of Us so very much? I do? Well, fine, okay. I'll spill the beans yet again, because I'm quite happy to do so. The Last of Us hits the #1 spot on my list, mostly because of its story. To everybody that has played this game, you know what I mean. This is not your happy-go-lucky story. Within the first 20 minutes, Naughty Dog hits you with one of the most painful emotional impacts that you will ever have to go through in a video game. Yet that is only the beginning. As the story of Joel and Ellie continues, the road that the writers take you through is rough and hard. It hits you with things that you don't expect at the very last minute. Then just as you think things can't get any worse for the main characters, they do. If you ever want to see a full-grown man cry, just watch somebody play this game. You will get invested in the characters, you will care about them, and you will end up shedding more than just a few tears. Not to mention, it's a story that will make you think quite a bit. You may be with Joel and what he intends to do, but many times you will question if you are doing the right thing. That is where the character development shines the most in this game. All of the characters just feel real. Their actions and reactions are things you would expect from real life people. That is why you get connected to them, and when things happen to them, you wish you could do more to help. Speaking of being fully realized, the world too just feels as real as the characters. Seeing what remains of the world after the infection outbreak tells even more tales. Going into an abandoned house will show you how the family that once lived there were affected by the outbreak. Finding the scattered collectible notes will bring more story into this already great game. One story that continues to stand out in my mind is that of a boy's diary about how they had to let loose his dog into the wild because the safe zones would not allow animals. It was sad and very touching. Now, as far as gameplay goes, it is kind of like Uncharted, but feels much more solid. You won't go running around and gunning enemies, but have to plan much more effectively. Ammo is very, very scarce in this game. Plus, fighting against humans and the clickers, which are the infected by the way, are two very different things. You have to take two different approaches when dealing with the two types of enemies. Overall, there really isn't anything bad that I can say about The Last of Us. It's a game, much like my game of the year last year, The Walking Dead, that I feel like everybody needs to experience. It is something that we don't get very often and only comes around once in a while. It is bound to become one of those yearly games that I go back to just to play again and again. Anyways, yes, The Last of Us is my game of the year. Quite frankly, it may be my favorite game of all time now. It's just that good. So there you have it, guys. My personal top 10 games of 2013. I'm sure there is plenty to argue about with this list, but just remember, this list is my opinion and not pure fact in any way or form. Down in the comments below, I would love to hear what you guys selected as your top 10 games of this year, because I'm pretty damn sure it's going to be completely different from my own. Now, at the start of this video, I mentioned that I had some honorable mentions to go through. So let's go through those rather quickly. Now, the first 5 here are games that were very close to getting the number 10 or 9 spots. And they are Lego Marvel Superheroes for the PlayStation 4, Guacamelee Gold Edition for the PC, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon for PS3, Injustice Gods Among Us for PS3, and the Stanley Parable, however you pronounce that, for the PC. And other honorable mentions include Tales of Exilia, Deadpool, Fire Emblem Awakening, The Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures, DuckTales, woohoo, and Killzone Shadowfall. Now, I'm sure I'm forgetting something here, and as soon as I record this, finish wrapping and editing, as the video is rendering, or even when the video is uploading, I will go, oh, fuck, I forgot that game to mention. But, well, that's gonna happen, so yeah. And no, I'm not forgetting BioShock Infinite. I could care less about that game. Anyways, I've been Lord X, you've been awesome, and I will catch you next time.